us, and we'll be passing through yesterday with him today to see what happened, how it happened, and why he thinks it happened, and the way forward, going forward, what will be next. You know, a lot of people had been talking about this and that. He's not in town, and he's talking, he ran away, and he's talking from the diasporas, asking people to go on and on when he's not here. Now he's here. And his very first day here, he had a very warm welcome, and that welcome he'll be sharing with us right now. And as I said, he'll be telling us what will be happening next. So, Comrade Omoyele Sowore is with us. He's a human rights activist and convener. Take It Back movement, revolution now, and a lot in his kitty. And it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome to VOP 90.3 FM. Sowore, how are you today?
Yes, I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Welcome to
All
town.
right.
Welcome to
Thank you
town.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And a lot of
Welcome back home, sir.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back and good to be on your show.
right, great.
Now I hope you're satisfied that I'm not running away.
I'm Cordelia, but he's Joseph Lauren Shaw, and our guest, Moyele Sowore, is very much with us. Now, for those people who'd been wondering why he kept talking from abroad, he is here now, and let's go. Your very first arrival point, something was waiting for you, because I know somebody like Joseph had always asked you, are you not afraid to come back? Are you not afraid that you'd be arrested? And so on. And sure to form, you made the news yesterday. Can you share with us briefly what transpired when you touched ground?
Well, there was nothing new. When I say nothing new, it was expected because prior to my coming, and as you guys have also extensively covered, they said they had a watch list, and they had frequently mentioned my name as one of the people that's been targeted for organizing the August End Bad Governance protests across Nigeria and beyond. So when I arrived, they just took my passport. I'll say they confiscated my passport and said I was flagged in their system because I was I'm being watch listed. And they said I have to wait in the area while they clarify with the Abuja office, and that's how it started. And for almost an hour, we're having a back and forth. And then they came later and said I need to provide a waiver to enable me enter the country. And I said I find that to be bizarre, and I don't know what they're talking about. And I tweeted while I was sitting and waiting and in the temporary detention, as I called it, that I'm being detained and my passport was confiscated. Some 15 minutes later, or 10 to 15 minutes later, they came and said everything is resolved, and I left.
So what did they want you to put in a waiver? What kind of waiver were they looking for?
I've never heard of it. I've never heard that somebody needed a waiver to enter Nigeria before. So I don't know where to get such a waiver from, and it'll be interesting to find out in the future what they mean by that. But I understand it was a game they were playing, to test my will and resolve.
For those of them who are, undergoing the trial for, in quote, treason, this trial start and all that, part of the conditions they were given is the fact that they are not allowed, they are not permitted, they've been stopped from taking part in any future protests while the session or the sittings are until judgment or whatever. You don't take part in any protest. Do you think maybe that was what they were trying to get you to do? A waiver that I'm not going to be a part of any protest, I'm not going to put together any protest. Do you suspect that that was what they were trying to achieve with that?
I don't know what it is. I don't want to second guess what they meant by that. But it's probably no waiver anywhere. I've never heard of a travel waiver before. But I think what they were doing is to see if it was possible to detain me and probably transport me to Abuja from Lagos. And in the course of doing it, they were also trying to weigh public reaction to that. I don't know what was transpiring. I've been in courts before in 2019, and I was granted bail conditions that said I can't talk to people, I can't address the press. I can address more than 4 people. And I find those to be bizarre. And if any judge is doing that, the judge is actually carrying out an illegality. Because one day you'll find out in this country, a judge will give you bail condition that you can't breathe. And what do you do? So you have there's no constitutional provision for anybody to be barred from exercising their rights while they're under trial, because everybody who is under trial is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
And there was a crowd
Yes.
waiting for you outside. Was it that they knew you were coming, or they came in response to your to the tweet you had put up, or it was just a coincidence?
But anytime I'm traveling, I talk to our people that I'll be arriving. We have an internal process where we inform ourselves about movements of um, ourselves. So yeah, they knew I was coming, and I've always had reception at the airport when I come into Nigeria. I think since 2018.
Because I heard somebody saying that if maybe they had detained you or arrested you in any way or format, that protest that they'd been talking about would have kicked off that very day, which being yesterday. You agree that that could have happened?
It was possible. And it had nothing to do along with the people waiting at the airport. I also noticed that most Nigerians that I met at the airport, including those who flew with me, were hanging around to see if my detention will be prolonged. So if things got protected, they probably all would have participated, including airport workers, including some of the security agents that were there. They were all like really, really excited to see that I came back, and they were all curious about what would happen. Uh, so I don't know what would have happened, but it would have been great if I started yesterday. They would have costed.
Okay,
Joseph?
Sowore, I think you didn't tell me this one. Assuming you tell me that they asked you to provide the waiver, I would buy waiver bread to come and give you at the airport. Anyways, so that I give to them.
This
But
Joseph, you're not there, okay?
well, that's just by the way. So a lot of people are just surprised. Say, a friend of mine was saying that this Sowore, which kind of heart
Does
you
he have?
that when there was announcement here and there that you were still able to hop into the plane, and lo and behold, you are in Nigeria. Where do you borrow your height, or which kind of soap you take a bath?
He wants how to cut soap for you.
It has nothing to do with any kind of soap. I think maybe a lot of Nigerians over these years have gotten used to oppression to the point that even the simplest things that their rights did not exercise them anymore. Nobody has a right to prevent another citizen from traveling simply because you're in government. It is my right to leave the country and come to the country whenever I want. I have a right to freely move and associate with whomever I want. And if I've committed a crime, it is also their duty to let me know which crime I committed. And it's the first thing I asked them yesterday. What exactly is my crime this time? Why are you seizing my passport? Because I'm used to them depriving me of my liberty and rights. And they did that in 2019 when I was
Hello?
they charged me, tried to prove in court, and they unthinkable things were done to me. So a lot of people believe that the moment government said they don't want you, you should go and bury yourself alive. I don't agree with that. I don't believe in that. I believe in complete exercise of my rights as long as I'm alive. And that's what guides me, and that's my philosophy. And it didn't start now. When I was in the university, I've told the story several times. I would get the university authorities saying, "We have been expelled. You can't come to school." I will go back and fight our way back. So I've always protested. The protest will happen. I wasn't even around on August 1 to 10, and the protest successfully happened in Nigeria. If I'm around and there's any protest, I participate. In fact, there are protests that I get involved in that most of you don't know about. I protest on behalf of a lot of people. I protest in group. I protest alone. So I protest by writing, I protest by speaking, I protest sometimes in silence, like a hunger strike that I undertook before. So I don't need to be around to put together a protest. The protest is going to happen on October 1, will happen, whether I'm around or not. And that one is not, it's irrelevant whether I'm around or not. But the point to prove, and which is what I think is important, is that nobody has the right to tell you where to be when you are a citizen of a country.
Mm.
The conditions for depriving somebody of their liberty are very clearly stated in international instruments. Even in countries that don't have constitution, people just can't stay at the airport and say you can't enter your country. It's just like people can't stay in front of your house and say you can't enter your house. You own the house. The
Mm.
country is like your house, and that's the point to be made here. The issue of protest, whether I'm here or not, protests will happen, and the authorities are aware that protests are going to happen. What we've always encouraged them to do is to make sure that they do their part in ensuring that the protests are well protected and the protesters are well protected, not arrested and detained arbitrarily and charged for bogus offenses like treason. It's ridiculous.
I've been patiently watching the days, watching the times and seasons to see if any of the things that were asked for on that list that was brought out as demands during the last End Bad Governance protest, if any one of them had been met. For instance, I remember that the members of the House of Reps had promised their salary, half of it, for the next 6 months. I've not heard anything about it. The importation of grains and so on to help with hunger, tax free in quotes. How do they call it?
The waiver.
The waiver that they were given for the importations. We've not seen anything. They're still talking about bureaucratic bottlenecks and so on. This is me from this end trying to watch. From your end, have you guys seen any of the things you asked for that they wanted to have a dialogue on and for? Have you seen any of them come into reality?
I think you should understand that this is a lifelong struggle, and even man's 15 of now they're 17 because we've asked them to release all withdraw the charges against all the people that they've charged for treason or those who are arbitrarily detained either by the police, DSS, or these courtrooms. We want to be very clear that we did not protest because we want dialogue. And I made it very clear on the show that even protest itself is dialogue with the deaf. But our goal wasn't to go into a meeting with the federal government and engage in those disgraceful kind of one-way dialogue. When you go to some of these meetings, I don't go to them because there's monologue. They tell you what they want. But our goal is to ensure that those conditions are met, those demands are met, and that is why when they're not met, that means the protests are not intense enough. There will be more protests, and there will be more intense protests until people get what they want.
From then till now, the NNPC and the fuel hike, the hike in prices, one of those things asked for was to have a reversal. Instead, there has been another increment, and maybe there will even be more. What will be your response? What was your first response? Let me take it that way. When you saw the back and forth between the NNPC and Dangote's refinery, and refinery that will start August, no, now September, all the back and forth in that area. What has been your thoughts towards that?
First is that any country where you find a government more interested in fixing prices as opposed to helping to reduce suffering, that country has no government. And I also think the whole Dangote refinery back and forth between NPC and the government and whomever their functionary is a deliberate distraction. Because the government did promise that their own refinery will start working in September, Port Harcourt refinery. They said the Kaduna refinery will work because they have actually paid heavily for them to be fixed. And now that they don't have a refinery that can function, they are telling you, the that they are fixing price for Dangote petrol. I don't know whether Dangote is producing petrol or not. I'm not interested, but I just think government is a joke in this country. If the government cannot go and be loading petrol from their own refineries that they paid $1.5 billion to fix over 3 years ago, and they have to be haggling to announce that Dangote is loading petrol or PMS, as the case may, as they call it here, or gasoline, then it's a joke. I don't want to be part of this conversation. Honestly, it's just a joke. That we are here debating how much Dangote will sell his petrol. What's our business with Dangote petrol? And then if Dangote has petrol to sell, why is Dangote himself waiting for government to come and help him fix the price of petrol? What they're doing is that Dangote must have told them what is profitable, because Dangote is not trying to save you. Dangote to create scarcity, so that we can arrive at a petroleum price that is acceptable to Dangote and acceptable to the government, because the government has become a business as opposed to governance. So, again, this is just distraction, and that's why our focus is how to ensure we get what we need.
All right.
Okay, Sowore, if tomorrow you got a call from the IGP, you got a call from the president who have been saying that they want the protester to come so that they have a conversation, you want to meet people who are protesting. You get a call from the IGP, you get a call from the president. Especially IGP may say that if at all you want to protest, let them know the location so that you people can discuss. Or you are going to write a letter to the IGP for in case of any protest.
No, I won't write. You see, the last time we had a protest in August, we did something that I would describe as unthinkable. We don't do that, which is to even go ahead and ask them for the location, to allow them know that we have location. We sent two lawyers, Femi Falana and Edmund Adeboro, senior advocates of Nigeria, to them. But you know the outcome. They were not interested in those kind of meetings. This time around, if there's going to be a protest, they will find out, like every other person, the location of the protest when the protest erupts. And they are at liberty to do what needs to be done, but they don't have a right to kill anybody or destroy or arrest arbitrarily anybody. So if I won't get, I can guarantee you they know me, they won't call me. And if they call me, I will make it very clear to them that, like every other person, they should go and wait for the protest. And I'm sure you noticed I'm not interested in meeting with them.
Okay.
Even the president, our dear president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
That's,
you call him your dear president. It's not my dear president.
Anyway, I have one message here for you. And Pascal Chimeze says, please, my warmest greetings to one and only Omoyele Sowore. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're back. You are indeed a bold and courageous man. Not many will dare to come back while outside the country, but I must caution that the agents of the state may not have done yet with you. That means they may not be over what they want to do with you. Probably they released you in order to get proper directives on how best to deal with you. I'm sure you are aware. Once again, welcome, my brother. And Pascal Chimeze, that was your message that you sent in from Lagos here. You heard what Chimeze said there? That probably is they're just watching, setting up, and just maybe following your footsteps to know what to do with you next. Does that bother you sometimes, that may just be the case?
You asked me if I was bothered by coming back to Nigeria. I said, no, it doesn't bother me. I don't think along those lines. I think more about what can make life better for everybody. And I also have understood over these years that sacrifices will have to be made. And I've made my own little sacrifice whenever I can, to the best of my ability, to make Nigeria. Projecting fear to me, there's no point advising me that I should be careful or afraid. The people who need the advice should take it, not me. I have chosen this path in life not to be afraid or worried about oppression. And whatever comes with it, I take it. I live one day at a time. So I appreciate what people say sometimes, but the part of the reason we're where we are today is that way too many of us are too afraid of things we should not be afraid of. We're afraid of people who are even afraid of us, which is sad. That's why Nigeria is in the condition it is now.
All right, now let's take a look at the issue with the NLC. The NLC is also being put in the same boat. Let's say not the NLC as a whole. The president of the NLC, Joe Ajero, is also being pulled into the treason charges and so on. Does this count for anything? Do you think they're just dragging the NLC into what actually doesn't concern them? An issue also with Mr. Wine, who they now say is a fugitive, or rather he's a foreigner at large, who's also one of those who tried to push people into pulling down this government. That is one of the foreign forces behind the End Bad Governance protests. What's your take on this?
I don't understand why the NLC is playing. I don't know the game between the government and the NLC, but it appears that there's something that there's more than meet the eyes with regards to how they are relating. And I don't want to guess what it is, but the NLC has been, quiet and malleable. And that's why I tweeted when Joe Ajero was arrested the last time, or was stopped from traveling, that I think there's something going on between him and them. Because I expect that by now the NSC would have clear-cut position and also a date for returning to the street. I mean that the that was approved for minimum wage has not been implemented yet, months after the announcement was made. But the reason they made the announcement was because there was a protest in August. There was going to be a protest in August. So what are they still looking at? What are they doing other than this back and forth between them and government? So I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll all try to find out what they are cooking together.
Okay, Sowore, what can we do? We protest about the executive. What can we do with the judiciary, whereby the kind of condition for bail to some when people are being arrested, it's as if both the judiciary, when they say the judiciary, the hope of the common man, we're trying to look for the common man, and some of the government 10 million per individual. Where are they going to see those kind of money?
Well, you see, battles don't fight them in bits and pieces, and that's always been our position. That's why we have very clear-cut 15 demands, and they are holistic. They are going to solve all the problems at once, and it's up to us to focus and fight this battle once and for all, or be fighting them in bits and pieces and never win. The judiciary is not different from the executive. The executive is not different from the legislative arm of the country. All of them are complicit. They are all in conspiracy against the masses. The judiciary is just one of the several arms of government in Nigeria that throttles the vehicle of oppression. So there's no need to separate the judiciary from the executive, because if you fight the judiciary up to a point, let's say they fire all the judges, who is still going to hire new judges? Is the president. And what do you think is going to put
that sent that in from Lagos? And Adewale from Oshodi, please put me through what I don't understand. Okay, this person is asking another question, wondering why the colonial masters amalgamated Nigeria and gave us date of expiration. I don't really understand that. I've heard people talk about it. I don't understand that. So I'll just come back to the discussion we have here. And let's look at now the people we're fighting for, or you are fighting for, or the team is fighting for, or activists are fighting for. We'll find amongst these same people who are the ones who still say, who sent you, leave them, we will survive, we will manage. For instance, the NLC, they had asked for 250, they came back to 70K, but your demand still has 250 there. Right. So how do we strike the balance now? Those who receive the salary, they are saying we are fine with 70K. They even gave Bosa. But there is still a call to, no, let's go to 250. Where is the balance? And how do we strike the balance between your demands?
You must understand that there's a difference between the workers and workers.
Mm.
The workers themselves are your parents, your aunts, your sisters, and the economic realities affect your daily existence. If you're a student and your father is receiving 70,000 naira a month, you are in the university, any university for the matter, it's likely that you'll be planning to quit university. So who would you fight for? The union who says 70,000 naira is enough, or the movement that says 250,000 naira is not enough? That's the question. It has to do with the economic realities of facing our people. And when the NLC went to agree to have 70,000 as minimum wage with the government, they made it clear that the government said they could pay 250,000, but with 70,000 there will be no increase in fuel prices. As of today, they have increased fuel prices twice since that decision was made, and they have not even started implementing their 70,000 naira miserable minimum wage. Whereas those in the executive section of departments, the judiciary, and the legislative arm are receiving what I call maximum wage.
Mm.
And what is maximum wage? 29 million naira for every senator per month. They also get a vehicle, they get personal assistant, they get the best health insurance in the world, because they can be flown outside of this country even when they have headache. And the president got serious upgrades, a new private jet. They got him a yacht. He's able to travel to any hospital in the world whenever he wants. Just came back from China the other day, went to the UK. We saw him in hospital, and he's back in Nigeria, pumped up, taking good care of himself, his family. His wife has spent over almost $1 billion just traveling to only God knows where. So the question is, who is saying the truth, and what is your reality, Nigerians? Is 70,000 naira enough for you as a worker? The answer we get is that no, it's not, and it's not even. It wasn't even as of value as when it was 18,000 naira. When the minimum wage was 18 naira, you calculate the value of the naira, and you know that 18,000 naira of 2014 is more valuable than the 70,000 naira of today. If you calculate the differentials in terms of value of naira then to a dollar and now, which is at, I think it's at 1,700 almost now. Most likely before the end of the year, the naira will be almost 2,000 naira to a dollar.
All right. Okay. Joseph?
Sowore, let's October 1st. What will you be between now and then if you have been detained again or be restricted at all?
Don't have any conversation.
You know, you can't.
The conversation about whether I'm detained or not is irrelevant. When we were planning 2019 revolution now, I was detained 2 days before the event. Did it not happen?
Yeah.
Was I here on August 1 to 10th? Didn't Nigerians have a protest? We have figured and factored into the planning that I might be detained. I didn't think it would happen to any one of us. And that Nigerians are supposed to organize themselves, or are organizing themselves in cells, in units across the country, and they will need minimal bureaucratic leadership to start the protest. So whether I'm detained or not, it will happen. So don't waste your time about anybody who wants to detain me, they're free to detain me at any time. When they're tired, they will release me. When they are free. So what I'm saying is that I'm not sitting here, arguing about whether I'm detained or not. This is irrelevant, sir. It's of no use. And I don't want you to waste your airtime on discussing whether I'll be detained. Like you rightly said, I'm sure they are planning what they want to do to me. But I said, last week when I was discussing with you, or was it 2 weeks ago when I was in your show, you're like, oh, you're not here. And I said to you, wherever I am, I'll participate fully. And whenever I want, I'll come back. And I'm back. So let's say something else. We can't keep bogging ourselves down with me when there are more relevant issues to discuss. And a future to plan, a country to liberate, and the people to save. And it doesn't matter whether the people appreciate me or not. I am not looking for personal glory. No, I don't want people to even appreciate me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me whether you appreciate me or you condemn me. I'm just doing what my conscience tells me is right, and I hope more people do that so that this country can find its footing. For once, maybe during our lifetime, and maybe it's not for us, maybe our children can benefit a little from it. And it doesn't matter whether Nigeria expires or not. Nigeria is not the only nation put together by colonialists. So even if Nigeria expires today and we fall into different regions or ethnic groups, oppressed, there will still be oppression. There will still be need for activism because the people who are oppressing you now are also from your hometown. They are from your state. They are from your local government. They are from your senatorial district. Do you think if you have your own nation, they will leave you alone? No, they won't. You still need to fight them. So you better start honing your skills now, in case you find yourself on the other side of defense. You still need to fight.
Says we're not united as a nation. That's why this fight won't thrive. We have a million Sowore's, but Nigerians in general are not united. What do you say to that? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that?
Okay, I'll take it again. I said that from Okafa, we had Donald. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear
Cool.
now.
That Donald said that we are not united as a nation. That is why this fight won't thrive. We have a million Sowore's, but Nigerians in general are not united. Do you agree with him on that? Because there are a lot of people who have that as a thought.
What we need is the unity of the oppressed, not the unity of Nigerians on any issue. There's no way you find an issue at all times. Press can increase their unity quotients by working together. And we cannot perpetually just be bringing down the little unity we have by saying, oh, it's not going to work. I think we have to quit whining, agonizing, and naysaying by just doing what we need to do. Nobody, and I keep saying this, thought that in August Nigerians can come together because we came from a very polarizing year, the 2023 election, right?
Yeah.
So, and nobody thought that some 1 year later we could have 10 days of united front to confront our oppressors. And that's what happened in August. So instead of always psychoanalyzing and overanalyzing and paralyzing, there's a Nigerian problem that is psychologically referred to analysis paralysis. They will analyze to a point of paralyzing themselves instead of taking action. So get rid of the analysis paralysis. Get on your feet. Let's all be part of the conversation that says no, enough is enough. And like I said, you don't need Sowore to do that for you. I'm just contributing my part. So contribute your own quota. As long as we all agree that we are being cheated, we are being oppressed, we are being repressed, we are being maltreated, we are being treated as animals. All right? And I don't like to see important. I have US just walk in the trails, driving my kids to school and drinking nice coffee, and living in a society that I consider peaceful. But I'm not from there, and I don't want to perpetually, make a career of being a stranger, because all these names you hear about, I'm in diaspora, I'm an abroadian, they're all names for people who have left their home against their wish, honestly. What I'm saying is that a lot of Nigerians would be happy to be in Nigeria if Nigeria is working. But we can make it work now so that because not all of us will have a chance to leave.
Okay. Some people are saying that the reason why you actually come because the new director of DSS is your brother or a Yoruba person like you. Assume it is your other person.
Foolish reasoning. Why did I come back in 2019? This is was that director of DSS my brother too, the one that was just removed. There are some things you should not be saying on. And you don't have to carry the position of every person who have no sense. You don't have to repeat it. But I think we should also elevate conversation on these public platforms to not just repeat what foolish people say.
All right, I have Iwo Haikechuku. He's saying the Nigerian judiciary is no more the only hope for the common man, but now is the only virus that kills the common man. That was Iwoha who said that. And okay, good morning. I like your courage. It's high time Nigeria creates the future we want. That is, Nigerians create the future we want. Just tell me, how many youths can afford 100 million naira from APC or PDP? And it's time we look elsewhere. I'm with you, Sowore. This is Kenny Young from Okoba. And Pascal Chimeze, you said, Bros, in your constant interactions with DSS, police, and other security agents, do they really confide in you that they too are in support of what you are asking for, even though as agents they don't have a choice but to do their work? Because we hear that often from the security agents who equally complain secretly. Did you get that message? You understood it, right? Did you hear it?
I got the message, but be careful. They also use a psychological narrative all the time. They'll tell you they are with you, but the next moment they are shooting you. So be careful. Don't always believe when they say they are with you. If they are with you, they don't need to be saying they are with you. They will join you. But because I've never seen a market where they sell food to police differently. There's no police foodstuff market or police petrol station or DSS hospital. But don't forget that these are people who are also psychologically wired to be wicked. And it's not all the time they tell you that you should believe them. That's why I'm no longer one of people who will say, oh, we should fight for police separately. If we fight for the society and the society is good and police benefit from it, good, good for them. But I don't trust the police that tells you today that they are with you and next week they kill 40 people at a protest. I don't trust them. I'm sorry to say. If they are with us, let them openly express it. The police, DSS, they're all on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram. They can say it if they believe it. I'm just saying be careful what you believe when they tell you they are with you. I see them all the time. Even yesterday, a lot of time I say, oh, we're with you. But they're the same people who carry out dirtiest orders of their superiors. And they're very quick to say, oh, we're just acting on orders. But it's very clear you are not allowed to act on illegal and illegitimate orders. But they do it regardless. They're like, oh, they're the ones who like miserable, especially those in the police. Be careful. Don't believe them when they say they are with you. They're not.
All right. I'll have this one. Since the government illegally declared Sowore wanted, before now, I was asking myself, would he still return? Looking at the fact he may still want to contest in the next election. I may not like Sowore for some things, but him returning has proven he's not a coward like those who some claim fought for democracy, but ran away like cowards when the heat was on. Now that so-called individual is in power today, acting more barbaric and tyrannic than the military they called names. You didn't put your name here, but you heard that message read, right?
Yes, and this is why I say it all the time that people need to be very clear about what they support. Because it's not just those people who are in power now. Nigerians have a knack. When I won't say Nigerians, but some Nigerians have a knack to supporting fake people. And sometimes they'll put their chest. They'll say, I'm supporting this person with my chest. Even if my NEPA certificate you get, we should understand that those things are not going to help us. We've reached a point where there's so many, when fake people come across, they come with instruction manuals, and you can tell through them, and we keep making that mistake, even in the last election. So it's high time we just bond together and for us. We say one collect 500 naira, and they'll tell you, oh, why don't you go and run for senator? And why don't you go and run for? And they will now vote for the worst. And when the worst people they vote for, or they encourage to be in power, start oppressing them, they will go back to those of us they said are not qualified to run for office to come and help fight them. That's the problem. Some of them will even say ignorantly, "Oh, you should remain an activist. You're not cut out for leadership." And you ask, who are the people? These experienced thieves, murderers, and kidnappers, gougers, gerrymanders, and saboteurs, buccaneers. Are these the experienced people? So there's a lot of soul searching that needs to be done even amongst our people too. They should search their conscience regarding where they stand during issues of national importance when they arise.
Okay. I'm trying to get the ones on YouTube so I can read some of the messages from YouTube we have here. Just let me read a couple, then you take over. Soaz TV, that you're here for Sowore. Thank you for being there for him. You say the man, the myth, the living legend. Sowore is a terror and tormentor of the oppressors. Taiwo Orisabuyi, an activity who, okay, I think you meant an activist who never ran from any administration or regime. That's what he's saying about you. Oganechuko Jeremiah, Sowore the Fearless, he says. Ekanem Godswell, you sent in both Iyaya federal government, the hurricane, I don't know what Iyaya federal government, I don't know what that means. Matthew Gabi, you say Sowore the great man, Ekanem, the only tormentor of the oppressors. They're just a hail you. Alex, oh, the legend himself. You're saying good job always, Lady C and Oganechuko Jeremiah. The struggle continues. Samuel Adesoji Ojediron. The protest will always take place, and any Nigerian can join and support in and outside the country. John Oluwashon, thanks for standing for us. The messages are there. I'll take as much as I can take. I'll continue later, but Joseph, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, Sowore, what do you think is happening to our security agency? They can still arrest people, maybe who are protesting, whether directly or indirectly. But some of these elements in the kidnappers, the bandits, and it's difficult for anybody to actually locate them or arrest them.
Well, because the people who are in government are bandits themselves. They know where their bandits are. So many of these bandits, you also have to look at the history of banditry, kidnapping, militancy. If you recollect well, I think it was the 2000s. Most of the Niger Delta militants were the creation of Peter Odili and Co. They used them for election. They even came out and said after the elections, they left us without remuneration, and we had to take up arms against the state. That's how the Asari Dokubos started.
Mm-hmm.
The Boko in Bauchi and so in Borno. The former governor of Borno, I think that's Alimadu Sharif, was so brazen that he allocated a commissionership position for a Boko Haram commander who was later killed by the Nigerian police.
That's Yusuf, right?
Yes. So, not Yusuf. It's another one. Yusuf was also very close. In fact, Yusuf was frequently sent to Saudi Arabia by the government.
Yusuf was the one that was eventually killed, I think.
Yeah, and Yusuf, but there was another person. I forgot his name. He was a commissioner in the government of Alimadu Sharif. He was a commissioner. He was a state commissioner for, I think, refugee. I mean, something about religion, state. So I'm giving you all these backgrounds because so that you can understand that these guys are friends of those in power. They are the ones who help them get to power. And when they get to power, they provide them protection. And it's the same thing. A lot of kidnappers, even in Zamfara, the former governor of Zamfara, who is now the Minister of State for Defense, has been exposed as the person who was providing logistic support to the bandits. The bandits have spoken about it openly too. So how do you expect these people to go after bandits and kidnappers and militants and terrorists when they themselves are facilitators of terrorism? There is an imagined fact about Sambisa Forest, for instance. A lot of Nigerians never heard this before. That there are about 8 bunkers that was built in Sambisa Forest by Babangida, and that's where Boko Haram uses to hide whenever they're under area bombardment. In about 3-4 years ago, I think 5 years ago, the DSS facilitated the entrance of ISIS to Borno State to help them kill Shekau. When the deal was over, the ISIS people remained. And since then, we have not been able to dislodge them. So if you know the atrocities that these guys were in meeting, you wonder why you are a citizen of this. I mean, you heard about the day was fired. It's currently last DG. There is an information now pending that his son from him. The information that his wife to even slap that of the DSS.
The line is a bit dodgy now.
These of people, operators of the state, and their connivance and collaboration with those the real enemies of the state is not new. So when people say it, there's nothing new about it. What is new is that we haven't done anything about it.
All right, let's take a couple of calls before we wrap this up. Omoyele Sowore is with us. Thank you very much for your time. So far, so good. And call in, please, only this line, only this one, 0700-903-903-903. 0700-903-903-903. Hello, how are you? Hello? All right, dropped call. Please, you call back. And if it drops, you just try and call back, and that'll be cool. In case you want to watch, it's streaming live on YouTube. You can catch it there. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Lady C. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, Mr. Ikan, comrade. Okay.
No, not Ikan. Okay. And
no, this is comrade. This is comrade
Peter
Monse. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, man. I want to salute the courage, the tenacity, and the doggedness of Comrade Sowore. He has just resonated the courage of MKO Abiola in my head. Because I remember when Abiola was asked, oh, you are now been arrested or you declare yourself the president? What of if you are killed? Abiola said, whether I am killed, whether I die by firing squad or I die of natural death, death is death. Everybody will die. I think that's the courage Sowore has demonstrated to me as I am part of this struggle, that he doesn't run away when the heat is against him. He stands. I have sent a message before, but it was not read. But let me use this opportunity to say, Sowore, I am saying to you this morning, since you have decided to stand for the masses and fight for the downtrodden, as MK Abiola and the rest freedom fighters, God will remain your strength. You will never, rather, you of darkness. Thank you for your courage. Keep fighting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Comrade Peter Monse, thank you very much. That was a show of confidence there by Peter Monse, who just called in. You want to respond to what he just said?
No, I don't think he asked the question. He was just expressing himself how he feels about it.
Yeah. No, maybe you wanted to say thank you for the prayer or something, maybe that was that. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, your name?
Uzo from Ago.
Welcome, Uzo from Ago. Carry on, 30 seconds, please.
Okay. I just want to salute the courage of Mr. Sowore and another thing, the departure of our brother, Mr. President.
Mr. Who?
Another thing, pepper them undiluted bushman.
That what happened?
The pastor on Saturday.
How? What happened?
I don't know. I had it this morning from Luhansk.
Ah. Okay. Carry on. All right. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I want to know, Mr. Sowore, I just want to know your plan because over here in Lagos, see how the past happened. So I just want to know how this.
All right. The line isn't very clear, but I don't know.
Know his plan.
They want to know the plans. Okay, the plans. Okay, please. We'll take 3 more questions and we'll round up. Sorry, we can't take anyone on WhatsApp for a reason. We can't take the WhatsApp on. We're going to end up with the question on the plans going forward. Let's take this one. 2 more calls and we'll wrap up.
Good morning, Madam Cordelia.
Good morning, Mr. Peter Osifo. Go ahead. 30
Yeah,
seconds.
once more, my name is Peter Osifo. I'm calling from Abanoje in Ikotun.
Go ahead.
To come to I salute his courage for coming back. It is not every other person that will come back like that. And that goes to show that home is better than any other place. So we thank you for coming back as a patriot. But I want to establish that Sowore belongs to the privileged few. It's one of the privileged few. And of course, I also want to establish that student union, so let me say student union protest or unionism is different from national protest.
Okay.
Or national,
All right.
let me say national protest as it were.
Okay. Last line.
So, but let me ask him this question. Assuming the people are happy that before October 1st, things go well, especially when there's food
Okay.
in the quality, and people are happy that food is cheap, and things are beginning to go well, and the government is less profligate.
All right.
Will it still continue with this
the
protest of October 1st?
All right, full stop. Thank you. Thank you very much. Those last 2 questions, I will now move on. They ask for the plan going forward and if things change between now and October 1 with the CBA protest. Finally, go ahead, please, Sowore.
With regards to the plans, I think we should all keep listening to a lot of the channels that are going to be churning out plan of action. Social media is going to be very awash with some of these plans. So you get updated either by radio, TV, newspapers, or social media platforms that are very well in tune with this. And the last speaker was asking a question, said student union protest is different from national protest. I don't know what he meant. Sometimes I'm confused by some of these comments or questions. Because why I'm saying that is that Bangladesh just had a major change. It was pioneered by students. And the Kenyan uprising was pioneered mostly by young people and students. So what is the difference between national protest and I wish he clarified that. He's saying if things get better between now and October 1, if the protest will still go ahead, I think the person needs to read our 15 demands. It is the reason the demands we made are not dealing with temporary issues, because the government can engineer things to look like it's getting better between now and October 1st so that they can avoid the protest. But you and I know that that would not happen. So I can guarantee you that demands are something you need to read, get yourself well in tune with it, understand it, and you realize that it's very fundamental and holistic in dealing with Nigeria's problems and not just some ephemeral, short-term solution to the problems that can be induced to make you feel like things are okay, and then the next day you wake up, things have gotten worse.
All right, we'll have to wrap up at this point because the other guests are here too. And it's been a pleasure having you back and speaking with you and hearing all the plans that you have laid out alongside the team. Sahid Baruwa from Okafa and a lot of the other messages here too. They're all saying that they're solidly behind you, and many liberators like me, he said, are solidly with you, and that's what most of the messages here, YouTube everywhere, have. Unfortunately, we can't read any one of them because we have to go now. Omoyele Sowore, thank you so much for your time, and I'm sure we'll be doing a session again before October 1. Have a very safe stay, and stay cool.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, and it's great to be back.
Great to have you back.
Welcome home.
All right. Bye-bye. You're listening to VOP 90.3 FM, City of Lagos. How are you? And I just got that big shock.